Welcome to Kletus Roadside Service. Guys, things are happening today. Already had a couple of, I guess they weren't phone interviews. They were just kind of like people making sure, I check a few boxes before the interview. It's like a pre-interview deal. I've already had two of them today. So that's pretty interesting. Now it is going to be a little bit of mind-numbing bullshit I got to go through. It's not going to be that hard, but I got to figure out how to get into clearinghouse and all that shit. Fill out a couple more applications, even though I've already applied at these fucking places. I already hit apply. I got my application in there. Is that not good enough? Is that not good enough? Is all the shit I put in to fucking Indeed not good enough? They're like, no, you need to fill out now. You need to go to our website and fill out our actual application. It's like, God damn it, motherfucker. But I had one lady talking to me. She's like, all right, well, let's see what's your record look like? And I'm like, well, it's pretty fucking good. But it ain't squeaky clean. I'll tell you that right now. And I guess I could be honest with you guys. I mean, I've always been honest with you guys, but trying to think back to every little thing that I've had. So I've had a few roadside checks, and I've always gotten a clean roadside check. I think the only, discrepancy would be, well, not the only. I've got a couple of not discrepancies, just like, shames on my fucking record. One was because the fucking scale master at a scale house I was pulling through was empty. Actually, I don't know if I was empty, but I wasn't overweight or anything. And I was in a straight truck running the lumber company. And I pull in there, and they said, hey, bud, the company name on the door of your truck does not match what we got in here. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's like, pull around. I pull around. She runs through and checks all my tires. I'm like, what the hell? You like, all right, you're doing more than just that. You just wanted to pull me back here and check my tires. Sounds like. She's like, no. There's actually a big discrepancy here. I'm like, what could be the discrepancy with my door sticker? She's like, well, and this was when I was working with a place called Cedar Creek. She said, on your door, it says Cedar Creek, INC. I said, yes. That means Cedar Creek Incorporated. What about it? She said, well, inside on the computer, guess what it says? I said, I don't know. I was like, oh, it might say Blue Links because we just got bought by another company. She said, no. That ain't it. I said, what could it be? She said, inside it says Cedar Creek. I said, yeah. All right. So what's wrong? She's like, it doesn't say INC on the inside. It don't say INC on the computer. I said, oh, God damn. That is a serious violation. I don't know what we could do about this. I don't even know what year this was, but it was a 2013 Mac. And they had got that Mac brand new, and it was not in 2013. I had been running that specific truck, because I used to work there as a forklift operator for like 7 years. That truck has said Cedar Creek INC on the door for about a decade. Well, I wouldn't say a decade, but For a long fucking time. It didn't say it up until 2023, I know that. But it said INC on the door for a long fucking time since we got that truck. And all our trucks say INC on them. So, well, you need to call your dispatch and have them change the name of your company in the computer to include INC. Or you need to rip off INC off your door. I said, all right. I mean, I feel like this is pretty petty shit right here. So I scrape it off the door. She's like, it's probably easier for them to change the name of the company in the computer. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck you think you are or what. Changing the name of a gigantic lumber company in a computer system across all everything. I don't think that is simpler than me removing 3 stickers off a fucking door. 4 stickers if you include the dot on top of the eye. Oh, yes, 5. There's another dot at the end. So I scraped that off, and then she said, all right, well, I just need you to come inside and sign some paperwork. I go inside. She wrote me a goddamn ticket for misleading, improper DOT signage. This bitch, and I say that with compassion to women, this fucking hog of a woman, this fucking piece of shit woman, this woman ain't shaved her pussy, ain't had nothing stuck in her pussy for a long fucking, this fucking piece of shit woman wrote me a goddamn ticket for INC. And was that included in like info about the ticket? No, it just said improper display of DOT signage. You know what else is improper DOT signage? Somebody just like covering the shit up. Somebody, actually trying to get away with some shit. Like border shit. People coming over the border with some fucking hair in there, some shit. So, anyways, that was my first run-in with DOT. I had clean motor vehicle inspections for years. And then that shit happened. And I might be forgetting some. It's been a while. It's been a while. I might be forgetting some, but I'm pretty sure that's the only thing I ever had a problem with up until my accident. And I've got 2 accidents on this record, buds. 2 accidents on this record. So, and that's what this lady, she's like, it looks like in 2020, you had an accident. Which, hey, what the hell is that? She said in 2020 I had an accident. Does that even make sense to me? Now that I'm thinking back at it, I'm like, 2020? Because I was like, I think that was with the lumberyard, so I might have misled her a little bit. But anyways, I said, I did have an accident. I was driving a straight truck, curtain side, Mack, and I was in the middle of Kansas City. I'll tell you exactly where I was at. I was on Holmes Road, sitting at a red light, driving down Holmes Road, right around the squiggly part. The road is pretty curvy right where I was. And I pull up, and I'm on Holmes Road, and I'm stopped at a red light. I'm the only guy sitting at this red light. I don't even notice. Somebody pulls up behind me. They're parked, sitting there, waiting for their light to turn green also. Just like me, just waiting for it to turn green. And then, bam! What the fuck was that? Like, I barely felt it. honestly, I barely felt it. But I heard a horrible squealing noise, a horrible crashing noise, and a slight jolt. And I look in my rearview mirror, and I see destruction. I set the brake, and I turn on the flashers, and I hop out of the truck, and I walk back there. Some fucking yahoo in a rented Audi came flying around that curvy road and slammed into a Honda Accord right behind. It was parked right behind me. Shoved this Honda Accord, folded the hood up like a goddamn accordion, and shoved the whole front end of this car up underneath my crash bumper. And both of these cars are fucked. And so the guy in the middle, I walk up to him and he rolls his window down. He's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Oh shit, you all right, man?" He's like, "These motherfuckers just hit me." And this guy, covered in coffee. He's like, "This shit's fucking hot." I said, "Oh no," I was not even thinking about laughing at the time. Now it's horrible. He was uninjured. It's a horrible accident, but it's funny as fuck when you look at it now. This guy just got a hot piping coffee from McDonald's. He's sitting in his fucking Honda Accord behind a lumber truck just listening to Beastie Boys or whatever he does. I don't know. Gets slammed at probably 50 to 60 miles an hour. And his coffee explodes. Hot coffee explodes right on top of him. And his car is completely fucking totaled front to back. I get him pulled out, and I'm like, dude. He's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Dude, you need to hold on. Let me call." I called 911, and then as I'm calling 911, I walk over to the Audi, and these fucking dipshits, they hop out of the car, they go walk onto the sidewalk, act like bystanders. I'm like, "Are you guys okay?" There's a man and a woman. Like, yeah. I'm like, what? Y'all, are you okay? Like, you just hit a guy at 60 miles an hour. And then I got the 911 dispatch on me. "Sir, what is your emergency?" I was like, "We got a crash over here on Holmes Road. Somebody needs to come out here and check out this shit. This is fucking crazy." They're like, "Is anybody hurt?" I'm like, "One guy's got hot coffee all over his fucking head. He might be and he's pretty fucking pissed." I was like, "And there's two other people in this other car." Anyways, police show up and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just need to, here's my insurance card, here's my information, here's my crash report," or whatever. They gave you a crash report in a book. And I filled it out, took pictures of everything. I don't have them pictures no more. I wish I did, but. And they're like, "Okay, you can leave." I'm like, "All right." I mean, there's a car shoved up under my fucking bumper. He's like, "Do you think you can pull out?" I'm like, "I can try. I can sure try." So I just hop in my truck and start moving forward slowly, and it's just boom. And then I'm like, I give him a thumbs out the window. He gives me a thumbs back, and I just keep on going doing my deliveries. After I had called my boss, I'm like, "Hey, you won't believe what the fuck just happened." And they're like, "We need pictures. We need the report." I'm like, "I got it all. I got it handled, but I got the detective or police officer's little card with the number on it and everything." And then I started to receive phone calls from insurance companies. They're like, your truck, you're a commercial driver? I'm like, yeah. They're like, you hit our client. I'm like, no, 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 no. Nope. They're like, how do you want to settle it? I'm like, I ain't settling. I'm like, brother, I was at a red light. I was stopped at a red light. The truck did not move until after the officers arrived and they told me to leave. I am not involved. I mean, I'm involved, but I'm not a part of this. I'm not a part of the party at fault. Turns out that was a rental Audi. Two yahoos rented an Audi, went out fucking hauling ass, and fucking are just, degenerate dumb fucks in a rented Audi, just smashing shit. What the hell is this notification on my phone? Possible scam. No, it's not possible scam. It's Pulse notification by 10th Street. So anyways, that was an accident, and I've had to explain that on every single job. Because guess what? They wrote, they're like, there was an accident, there was 2 towaways, no hospitalizations. It looks like I was involved, and I've had to explain this shit. So anyways, that was an interesting day. I mean, the crash bumper in my truck worked flawlessly. There was nothing wrong with my truck at all. I had a little scratch on the bumper. You're gonna get scratched. It was mainly underneath the crash bar. You couldn't even see it. But anyways, yeah, that's something I've got to explain now every time I want to explore my options at employment. Then, let's see, what happened after that? I picked up a truck. My company flew me out to California, and I picked up a new liquid bag. This is my current company. Picked up a rental liquid bag. Why the fuck is there not a liquid bag between Kansas City and Long Beach? I don't know. But I flew to Long Beach, California, to grab a rental truck. Hey, California, I've been there. I can say I've been there. I've walked around one area with, the airport, 2 areas, the airport and then the fucking rental place. I didn't get out of the truck or do anything else anywhere else in California. I was trying to get the fuck out of that place. Drove that truck halfway across the country, all the way back to Kansas City. Took 2 days. My day, it was like a Monday that I started headed back, and then it was like a Wednesday. I get the truck in Kansas City, park it at the shop. The next day, they're like, hey, we need you to run up into Nebraska to haul some liquid. I said, all right. Normal job here. Hop in the truck, and I drive it up to Nebraska the next day after just driving it halfway across the country. Put some more fuel in it, made sure the tires were good. I just got it from the rental place. Everything's good on it. I just tested every operation of the truck, well, not operating the fucking liquid pump and all that shit, but the truck seemed pretty fucking solid. Got it all the way back to Kansas City. Started driving it, get up into Nebraska, Highway 2, scales open, pull in. Hey, we want to do an inspection on your truck. Shouldn't be a problem. Just picked it up from the rental place. Everything should be good on this truck. Pull it up on their fucking, so they can get underneath the truck and inspect it and whatnot. Pull it up on there. Hello, Target. Get over. What the hell are you doing, Target? The lane ends. Everybody knows the lane ends. Get the fuck over. So anyways, this DOT officer, just serving and protecting, making sure all these trucks are safe and good on the road, pulled me in for a just random inspection. Hops up underneath there, is walking around for a while, looking at shit, comes out, he's like, not good. I'm like, not good? Said, you got a frayed brake line. A frayed brake line? I said, yep. Got an airline going to a brake pod, and the outer lining of your brake line is frayed. It's got like that, it looks like a fucking Chinese finger trap shit, and the ends of it were not crimped into the fitting. So it looked frayed. The rubber airline was perfectly fine. Said, you're shut down, bud. You ain't going nowhere. Said, I'm shut down? I was like, frayed brake line? He's like, yep. Here's a list of mechanics in the area. Start calling. Call my boss. He says, well, they're not going to let you do shit unless you get it fixed. So call up the first mechanic that can be there and get it done. Called up a mechanic. He showed up out there. He said, this is not good. I said, what? He said, first off, your brake line is perfectly fine. It's just the outer coating of your line that is optional, that is not in there, and that is what he sees that's frayed. Your brake line, I've checked everything underneath your truck. I got the pictures from the DOT officer. I looked at what he's talking about. I tried to explain it to the DOT officer that that's actually not a problem. They said they don't give a fuck, replace it. Or it's got to be replaced before that truck is going to be going down the road. So he came back out to me and said, sorry, bud, like, you have a good brake line. But it's got to be replaced per them fucks in there. So, but, that's not something I can just go grab off a shelf. That's something I'm going to have made. I said, all right, well, go make it, please. Whatever you got to charge. And he took off, and 4 hours later, he showed back up, put it on, took a picture, showed the DOT officer. They wrote me a repair notice thing, said, you're free to go. I said, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. I so appreciate what you're doing for us out here. You guys get a bad rap. You guys get a bad rap, don't you? You guys got a lot of people upset with the way you do things. Not me. I think you guys are correct. I should be ashamed of myself for driving this truck on the fucking road. I said, I'm glad you feel that way, sir. Have a nice day. And I left. So now that's on my fucking record too. Okay? You see how things are going here? Now, different liquid vac. Well, I guess this was right before. The reason I had to go get that liquid vac because of the next story. And I've told this story a couple of times. Make up your mind, Target. Are we doing 74 or 76? I'd like to set cruise control. I don't give a fuck where we're at. I'd like to set cruise control. Target, can you please contain and maintain speed? I don't even know if that makes sense what I said there, but you know what I mean. Maintain your speed, motherfucker. This should go, I should just send this audio to everybody that I'm, maybe not, since I'm cussing out Target. But this is covering a lot of bases here. So the reason I needed to go to California to pick up a new liquid vac, a rental liquid vac, was because I totaled a liquid vac. Now let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. I'm in Iowa / Nebraska, hauling water, doing my thing. I'm done. I've hauled all the water that needed to be hauled. Ready to come home. Been out for a few days. I'm on my way back home. I'm on I-29 South. Coming through St. Joseph, Missouri. Shithole highway. The highway, I-29 ain't a bad highway. Through St. Joe, I have nearly been in an accident almost every time I've been through that fucking spot. And you just don't know what to expect. You gotta be on high alert going through St. Joe. You gotta be on high alert. You don't know what's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. I'll tell you that right now. Something is gonna happen. I've almost been ran off the road several times in St. Joseph, Missouri. The people of St. Joseph are fucking ignorant. Or at least the people passing through. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happens. I don't know what's in the air over there. I'm immune to it. Well, apparently, well, I don't know. I guess I think I'm immune to it. But it ain't. The people that caused my accident, they weren't immune to it. They caught a sniff of the fucking dumb shits whenever they were rolling through. Because you know what happened? I'm on I-29 headed south. Roughly mile marker 64. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was. Doing the speed limit. Speed limit 65 through there. I'm doing roughly the speed limit. You decided to pull over in a really bad area, you dumb fuck. Doing roughly the speed limit. I'm coming up on a flatbed truck. Flatbed, 48 foot, 53 foot, don't know, didn't count. Didn't get out and see how long his trailer was, but it's just a flatbed semi-truck. I'm running up on his bumper. I got people coming up onto the highway. I'm going to go ahead and take the left lane. I'm going to go ahead and get in the left lane. I'm going to get around this guy. He's going slower than me. I'd like to keep going. I'm halfway loaded with water, by the way. My manifest probably said I had 1,500 gallons on me. And that's what I estimated. My needle was at the half mark. It's a 3,000-gallon vac truck. Makes sense. Half loads are dangerous. They're not dangerous unless you're around dangerous people on the road. So I'm passing this flatbed truck, coming around him. This is where I'm roughly going the speed limit. I'm probably going a little bit faster to get around this guy so I can continue to maintain the right lane. Because that's where trucks should be, is in the right lane. And up ahead, I'd say 2 to 3 football fields. 2 to 300 yards. Let's just call it 250 yards ahead. I see people hitting their brake lights in the left lane. I let off the throttle, meaning I'm probably going the same speed as the flatbed now. I've got him in my peripheral. I let off the throttle. I start, decreasing in speed. Then I realize they are stopping in the highway. I get on the brakes. I'm start to slow down. I'm not slowing down as fast as I'd like to. I get on the brakes a little harder. Eventually, I've got 2 feet on the brakes, slamming on the brakes. Just not stopping, okay? The fucking truck is not stopping. I am just hurtling towards these fucking cars that decided to stop in the middle of the highway. and I'm probably going pretty fucking slow. I'm going pretty fucking slow, but it's still sliding. You know, I'm not hauling at. I'm still sliding. You know, the tires are I'm locked up. It wasn't locked up. I got ABS, but it was like, you know, I was putting as much stopping power as I possibly could on the truck. And I realized, oh, if I don't move out of the way, I'm going to hit this car. It was an Escalade, black Escalade. And I'm not a fast thinker, but when time slows down like it did, I thought just fast enough to where I said, you know what, there could be kids in that, and I really don't want to give children whiplash, so I'm going to go ahead and go into the ditch. I'm gonna let off the brakes a little bit and go into the ditch because you know you can't really turn if you're sliding. So I let off the brakes a little bit, steer into the ditch, and I see that crash cable in the middle of the highway. You know, we got them all over out here. And I'm like, ooh, I don't want to hit that. Right as I said that, the truck was like, we're tipping over. And the truck tipped over and fell. And it was in the middle of the highway, a ditch on both sides. So, and I was already, like, the left tires of my truck were already at the bottom of the ditch, roughly. The cab of the truck fell on the other side of the ditch. So it folded the cab up. And I sit on the left of a truck. And I fell to the left. So when the cab folded in, it folded in on me. And I had, like, my work bag on the passenger seat. And that promptly flew and hit me in the face. And I did black out, but I came to pretty quickly. And a UPS man in shorts came up and helped me walk out, picked me up and helped me climb out of the windshield of my truck. There was not one piece of broken glass anywhere. It was insane how this happened. You know, the whole cab of the truck got smashed in. The front windshield popped out, the back windshield popped out, the driver window was rolled up, and the way it fell perfectly folded it right where the glass, you know, above the glass. So, and then the passenger door also bent, but all the windows were rolled up, so they just bent. And no glass was broken. It was weird. It was weird. And I got out and I was like, what the fuck happened? They're like, oh shit, are you okay, man? And I don't know. The ambulance seemed to be in traffic or something, and it rolled up and threw me in the back and took me to the hospital. And then I don't know. Things started happening real quick after that. I don't know. It's kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie. And I end up in the hospital, and they're checking me out, and they're like, "All right, you're free to go." After doing a concussion check and bullshit, my wife came and picked me up, took me home. That was on like a Thursday, and I took Friday off. You know, hey boss, do you think I can have Friday off? You know, I just fucking rolled a truck. Sure. So Friday off, I said, I'll be back on Monday. He said, only if you feel good. I said, I feel fine. I will feel fine. I know I'll feel fine. I get hurt, and you know what? I think the best way, the longer you stay still after being hurt, the longer you're going to hurt, you know? So, and that's just my philosophy. I want to keep working. I want to keep moving. I want to keep doing shit. Somebody is going to be pulled over up here. There's a lot of tire back here on the road. Somebody's going to be pulling over on the shoulder up here. There's got to be. There's a lot of tire back there. So much tire that there might not be much tire left on whatever vehicle is up here. So, yeah, so that was an accident. There were no tickets issued. They said, hey, you did what you could do. We tested your tire marks. We can see where you started driving and slowing and stopping. We got witness reports about that you did, what you could do. And we think that you taking the ditch was a good idea. Instead of hitting potentially 3 vehicles, you took the ditch and you only hit yourself. So that's pretty good. I was like, all right, thanks for that. And because of that, my bosses, they didn't give me any flack for it. They said, well, looks like you did what you had to do. Now, what I didn't know is the flatbed that I was passing, he took the ditch on the other side. He was in a long-nosed Pete sleeper. He took the ditch on the other side and blasted through a fucking round bale. They had a round bale of hay. They were going to do some road construction over there. They were going to lay down a bunch of hay, so there was hay bales in the ditches along the road. And he blasted that fucking hay bale. So he was giving me room. I could have got over. Everything could have been better, but I was laser focused on what was happening in front of me versus what was available to the side of me. I just figured I can't get over. I'm going to go ahead and take the ditch on this side. So anyways, 2 trucks off the side of the road, and then I do have a picture of the tow truck picking up my truck, and I believe that's where the truck was mainly totaled. It really just needed a cab. No liquid came out of the back. I had everything was nice and tight. The tanker is still in really good shape. Perfect shape. Needs a paint job, I guess, but no liquid came out of the truck, including oil and coolant and diesel. I don't know why I said it like that. I was in the middle of thinking while I was saying that. Somehow no oil came out, didn't penetrate the ground. No diesel came out, even though I fell on basically the fuel tank, and it was pretty full. They got it tipped up and sucked out all the liquids and towed that, and it sat at a tow yard for a couple of days, and then they said, you know what, we want to have that back at our shop. We want to shame this driver that rolled this truck. We want to shame him for like a year. So we're going to leave it crushed at the yard. So any new people that show up, like people that haven't been to our shop ever, will show up and they'll be like, oh shit, who was driving that? And a lot of guys were like, oh my gosh, who was driving? That was me. That's me. They're like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, that was like a year ago, dude. I don't know why they want to have this truck sitting here on display this whole time. Don't know what the deal is with that. So anyways, later on, shortly after that, they removed the tank. They cut the cab off. They cut the frame in half. They started, palletizing the truck and all of its components. And hey, I like to think, hey, I gave you all if you ever have something broken on any of these other liquid vacs, hey, I've got a whole truck here that you can use parts off of. We used the DEF tank on a different truck. We used the fuel tank on that truck. We got axles for that truck. We got, another fucking tank if you want to. We thought about putting a tank on another truck. Anyways, I'm not talking about, all that shit. Damn, I almost got hit by a fucking Lexus. I'm in the left lane. There's a fucking truck stop coming up. I'm in the left lane, taking the left lane exit. They came flying up behind me. They were going to start flashing their lights at me and honking because I'm hogging the left lane. There's a fucking truck stop here, bitch. Me talking about liquid vac so much, I felt like I was in the liquid vac almost. I mean, I'm in a tanker truck right now. So anyways, those are my incidents. I did get an overweight ticket, and I did mention that to the lady. I said I got an overweight ticket, and the overweight ticket, I was trying to figure out how to get the load to not be overweight. And, well, I wasn't even in the middle of that. I thought I was fine because I checked my overall weight. I was hauling totes in a dry van. And I checked my overall weight, and my overall weight was like 78,000, 77, 78,000. And I was like, oh, cool, I'm underweight. Let's go. I got all these totes loaded up. I'm ready to go. And then I hit a scale on my way back, and that was from Des Moines to Kansas City. There's that northern, southbound Missouri scale right at the north border on I-35. And they pulled me in. They said, you're overweight on your trailer axles. You got plenty of adjustment. You need to adjust your trailer axles. So I adjusted my trailer axles. They said, hop back up on the scale. Hop back up on the scale. They said, all right, come back around. Went back around. They said, here's your overweight ticket. I'm like, huh? Like, yeah, you were overweight. I'm like, yeah, but I moved my axles. I was 1,000 pounds over on one of my axles. They're like, yeah, you were 1,000 pounds over. Here's your ticket. I'm like, I guess that's justified, but I mean, I fixed it. Now I'm not. 1,000 pounds isn't that much. It was like I don't know. It was not very much of a ticket. And I showed up to the shop and I gave the ticket to my boss. I'm like, hey, here's the ticket. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, what? He's like, this is the smallest overweight ticket I have ever seen in my life. He's like, normally they just let this shit go, or they'll let you fix it and then they won't give you an actual ticket. He's like, this is bullshit. I'm like, I agree. Hey, you saying somebody's doing bullshit on me? I agree. So I wasn't held really super accountable for that. And that is the extent of what's on my record, I believe. I talked about a school bus incident. That was a very long time ago. So that's gone off my record. The only record it's on is on this podcast, actually. So, but anyways, that has been forgiven. I guess, I don't know. It's not going to show up anywhere. So, anyways, that's where we're at. I got to get fuel, and then I'll be back. And we're back. Got $261 worth of the good old diesel. No parking on ramp, and there's 2 trucks parked on the ramp. Interesting. Good on ya, guys. Good on ya. Hey, I'm coming out onto the highway. You guys are going to need to make room for me because I'm coming over. Sorry about you if I slowed you down. So yeah, I think I'm a pretty qualified individual. I mean, I talked about all the bad things that I've been involved with, and I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna leave that. Hey, if you think I've got a bad rap, you think I've been wronged, you think this is normal. Hey, maybe I'm doing way better off than most other guys. Let me know in the comments. You can leave a comment and let me know your reflection on my MVR. See what you guys think about that. Am I fucked? Is that too much shit? Is that not enough shit? Or are you squeaky clean? I want to know. I want to know from other truckers out there, or even just passenger cars. Like, let me know about your tickets that you got. I want to hear some of your bullshit stories. Not bullshit. I want to hear, like, you're like, I feel like I've been fucking wrong. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear some of that shit. This Mac over here, you're not passing me, motherfucker. I'm passing these guys. Good luck passing me. I'm empty. I can go pretty quickly up a hill here. So, anyways, yeah, there's one place that I'm trying to get a job at, or thinking about it, and probably going to be the best one for me. I'd end up running I-70. I'd be running I-70 local in Kansas City. Um, there's a transfer station over in Independence. I'll be loading up, or I guess the trailers are already there and loaded. I don't know how all that works. So I'll pull in there, I'll grab a trailer, I'm going to tarp the motherfucker, and then I'm going to drive it to the landfill over in Kansas City, Kansas, untarp it, back it onto a tipper, tip the bitch. Somebody else is going to tip. They have somebody operate the tipper there. They're going to tip it, dump the trash out, lower it down, hook it back up. It's empty, retarp it, and drive it back to the transfer station, drop it, grab another trailer that's loaded. And they said you can do 5 to 6 a day at $68 per trailer dumped. $68 per trailer dumped, 6 a day. Let's do some math, but with that calculator. 6 times 68, $408 potentially daily. Now let's see. 5 loads, 5 times 68, 340. Still not that bad. Four loads, 272. Still not that bad. 4 loads. And then that would be, I don't know, I would say roughly a 30 to 40 minute drive. Well, actually, I don't even know where the transfer station exactly is, but it's basically one highway. So as long as that highway doesn't get all fucked up, which it does all the time, I should be able to make at minimum 4 runs a day. Now, the only problem I have with that is I've seen the landfill. I've been at the landfill. I've used the tipper. I've done everything that they do. I've tarped, untarped. I've done everything that they've done. Drop, hook, whatnot. Is it going to go as smooth as silk? Probably not. If I know anything right, you got several drivers doing this run. It's going to get backed up. You're going to be waiting at the landfill to get in. Then you're going to get into the landfill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and over the hill and around the corner. And then you're going to be waiting in line to use the tipper. They have 2 tippers, and there's a line almost always. And sometimes that line is quite long. Is it possible to get 5 to 6 loads done a day? And she said, I think she's wrong, but she said, oh, the landfill, they open at 7 and they close at 3. And I think that's wrong. I'm pretty sure they open at like 5 and they stay open until 6. But maybe she's just kind of giving you a saying that so you don't get, like, oh, all right. And it would be every other Saturday, is what she said. And I said, can it be every Saturday? Because the landfill does not open all that long on Saturdays. If I could work every single Saturday, I'll still have a pretty decent weekend. Or I can come in and run like 1 load. I had a good week. I'll run one load, or I just won't work on Saturday at all. But, that would be kind of like a little bonus 60 bucks. If I drive into work and haul 2 loads, they're going to give me 140 bucks roughly, minus taxes and stuff. And they said you get a week of vacation after a year's service. So now that's another thing I'm trying to wonder. I'm like, how does the vacation pay figured? Are you going to pay me for 6 loads per vacation day? Is that what it is? So I don't know, but, and it's just hauling trash. Like, there's a potential to make a lot of money at this place. It sounds like it might be too good to be true. I'm going to have to look into it a little bit more, make sure this is going to be a good fit. So I'm kind of excited to get home tonight. I got to get my fucking motorcycle tire. I hope this fucking place has it done. I can grab my motorcycle tire. Well, I got to go get loaded. So I'm going to go over here to this city, go in, get loaded as quickly as possible. I mean, I guess not as quickly as possible, but pretty quickly. And then turn and burn and run over to the shop, grab a work truck, run over to Cycle Gear. If they got my fucking tire done, I hope they fucking got it done. Grab my tire, run back to the shop, install it on my motorcycle, put the fucking jack away, because I got a big-ass transmission jack off the shelf. I got to get that thing drug up and put back up on the shelf. And then I can ride my dirt bike home, which would be convenient. And then got a trooper next to me. Sheriff, actually. Leavenworth County Sheriff. Oh, was that a bird? Something just banged off my windshield. And I guess that was a bird. Something just died. Something died hitting my windshield just a second ago. So anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to look up this place and make sure it's going to be a good fit. And then I got a tanker run, hauling fuel, local fuel hauler. And I asked the guy about the pay scale on that. He said, well, you're going to have a split compartment trailer. So you're going to have 4 to 5 compartments on your trailer. You're going to be hauling diesel, gasoline, off-road diesel, potential, I don't know. I guess it could be kerosene, but I don't know. It's just whatever's at the racks where you fill up, which might be over in Fairfax. I don't know. But fuel up. They pay you for, he said they pay, I was like, what is the pay structure? I just want to know what the pay structure is, because you put numbers on the fucking ad, but I don't know what any of that means. So he's like, oh, well, I don't really know. I'm like, all right. He's like, yeah, after you put in your application, we'll do an interview, and then you can bring up those questions then. I'm like, well, I don't really want to go through all the fucking application process if it's not going to be a good fit. So, I don't know. I'm going to look it up. Currently, where I'm at, I guess, I don't know, for a regular 40-hour work week, which is not sustainable for me currently, it's like $1,200 a week, which is, yeah, that is not sustainable. That is not going to work out. $1,200 a week, not going to work out. I need to have at least 15. So I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that place also, but I had a phone interview with them, or just a consultation, I guess is what you could call it. And I don't know. I would think it would only make sense that somebody hauling fuel in a tanker truck going to gas stations and all over the place is going to get paid more than a guy hauling trash from this place to that place and nowhere else. Nowhere in between, nothing else going on there. And they would be assigned trucks. So I would get a truck, it would be my truck. I can clean the motherfucker out. It's only going to get as dirty as I get it. I can leave my hard hat, my vest, my, phone charger, all kinds of shit in there. And right now that's where I do have a little bit of a problem was, these trucks, anybody can get in and out of these trucks that we're in right now. We're a big company, but we're a vast company, and we do all kinds of stuff. We share trucks with other branches. You never know what truck you're going to exactly use every day. You could be using the same truck all day for 2 weeks, and then you show up, and then that truck is disconnected, and you got to find a different truck to use, but it has to be a certain truck, Anyways, so you can't leave shit in your trucks at this place, and that's not that big of a problem. I don't have a lot of shit with me. I make sure I load up with everything before I go. But it would be nice if I could just leave my cooler, or I could have like a plug-in refrigerator cooler thing or something. I could pack stuff into my truck, leave it in there, and now all I got to do is hop in the truck and go. That would be convenient. So anyways, I don't know. Do I want to set myself up to where I'm going to have to wake up early every fucking day, and I'm going to be working long days every fucking day. I'm not going to get a paid day off. I think you're allowed to take a day off without pay, but I won't be getting any PTO, any paid days off for a full year, for all of 2026. No days off, unless I want to eat it. And but I would get my own truck, and I would have a dedicated schedule, a dedicated route, a dedicated schedule, a dedicated truck, consistent pay, consistent loads. Trash is going to keep coming. It's only going to get worse as winter comes. Realistically, I think. It's either going to stay consistent or get worse. More people are going to be inside doing shit at home, inside, more trash. Is the way I kind of look at it. So, and I'm not going to be like on a route. I'm going to be just grab a trailer. Somebody else loaded it. It's already ready to go. I just got to make sure that trailer's good. That's where the problem could lie. Somebody fucked up the curtain. Somebody fucked up the axles. Them tippers are pretty easy to get on. But if you fuck it up, you're going to fuck it up good. You're going to bend a rim. You're going to bend landing gear. I've bent landing gear. You're going to scrape the side of it. You're going to rip the tarp off. And then you're going to be like, well, I'm just going to fucked up the tarp, kind of. I'm just going to go ahead and drop it. And it'll be somebody else's deal. And then that trailer's going to sit for an hour or so, then get loaded. And then I'm going to show up and grab the trailer, pull it out. And then I'm like, the tarp is fucked on this trailer. Like, deal with it, bud. I'm like, well, now I'm losing time. I'm losing time because the tarp is fucked. Somebody left me with a fucked up tarp on this trailer. But I don't think I don't think they run local only, so I don't think I would even need to do logs. That would be interesting. No logs needed. Or a local log or whatever, just clock in, clock out type situation or something. Now, hauling fuel, I think that's, you're going to have to actually, because that is just one place. Hauling fuel, you're going to have to keep track of where you're going, how much you're giving, how much you're loading, where you're going. That's more intense shit to keep track of, which is not a problem, really. You can kind of figure it out. But Yeah, maybe get me my own tablet so I can keep all my own notes and shit, and just email that shit in. I don't know. I don't know how they work. Maybe it is a piece of paper. I don't know. And maybe even the trash. You know, the trash. You got to log your trailers, log your weights, log your times. But that's pretty simple. Hooked, dropped, arrived landfill, dumped at landfill, left landfill, arrived transfer station, loaded trailer A25 or whatever the fuck it would be. So I don't know. I don't know. And then there's the heavy hauling job also. I have an interview, a real ass interview tomorrow at the heavy haul place. I'm going to go over there and they're going to be like, "Yeah, you're going to be hauling construction equipment." My son's school just called me for a test. Motherfuckers. Alright. So anyways. Alright. I gotta click on this. 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 Ah, motherfucker. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna get off here. This has been I think this has been a good episode. I think the last episode was pretty fucking entertaining. Not gonna lie. I think that one was pretty fucking good, especially there at the end. And for all the guys, well, I mean, this is the end of this episode. I should probably put a message at the beginning of the episode. It's like, hey, if you're gonna listen to the episode, don't just listen to 9 minutes of it. Maybe skip around and you'll find something interesting in there. You know, because I want people to be entertained, and I know it's a little slow starting out sometimes. Sometimes I come out fucking guns a blazing and keep you all entertained. And it's not just for entertainment. You know, like I've said, this podcast, this recording that you're listening to. Thank you for listening. Is for me. It's for me to clear my mind out. It's nice to express my feelings, be gay, and talk about how I feel, and bitch about shit, and just go over things that are happening in my life. It's really, really convenient for me to do this. I don't want to be gay. I'm just kidding. I will say, hey, I watched. This isn't about being gay. This is about not being gay. I watched part of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. Don't know what any of that is, but there's that one chick in there. Hey, listen. Whoa, hey, she's tied up. Her titties are out. Whoa, buddy. Was not expecting to see that. You know, I show up at the hotel and I turn it on and I'm just like flipping through the channels trying not to get on news. I don't want to watch news. I don't give a fuck about the news right now. So I'm just flipping through the channels. I'm like, oh, Texas Chainsaw. I'll click on that just to have a little background noise while I go take a shit. And I turn it on. I'm like, oh, Lordy, what do we have here? What the hell is on my TV? I had to take a steamy shit. But instead of going and running to the toilet, I stood there in front of the TV in my underwear, getting ready to go take a shit, just watching him. Like, what the hell is going on here? What the hell who is that lady? Why are her titties out? Why is she tied up? She's the cousin of the slasher. Holy shit, what's going on here? And then other guys show up and I'm like, oh, they're going to save her. And then they're like, no, they're not saving her. They're trying to kill her too. I'm like, I came in at the wrong point of this movie. I'll tell you that right now. It was interesting, but hey, having some random titties shaking around, tied up, hot chick. Whoa, buddy. All right, there we are. Got to go take a shit now. It's hard to take a shit with a rod. You know, fuck, it's touching the toilet seat and shit. You try to put it in there, you're peeing all over the place. You're like, God damn, you can't shit with a boner. You ever shit with a boner? Not easy. Not an easy thing to do at all. Anyways, I'm going to get off here before my fucking future employer hears this shit. Adios. Keep all 18 down. Bye-bye.